understandable why a desperate childless couple might do anything to have a baby. But those who exploit them for profit aren't so easy to forgive. In this episode, Anas Arimiao Anas and Rosemary Rabuni investigate the Nigerian conmen promising to cure infertility and the maternity clinics selling babies for cash.
This is Nigeria. It has the biggest population in Africa, and it has a secret problem with babies. Here, childless marriages are sometimes seen as shameful or even troubled by witchcraft. At the same time, single mothers are frowned upon and abortion is illegal. And some unscrupulous people match their unwanted babies with childless couples for money, against the law. We are setting out to investigate unethical medical practices and something much bleaker, the trade in human life.
My name is Anas Arimiao Anas. I'm an undercover journalist from Ghana. Anonymity is my secret weapon. Today, I've come here to meet my colleague, Rosemary Nwabuni, for us to try and uncover a baby selling syndicate. Over the next few days, we are going to try and unmask the faces behind this baby selling syndicate.
A woman without kids is supposed to be one of the worst things. So once a woman is married, without having children, there is problem. So women are forced to, as it were, try and have a baby. And it is not uncommon for them to try and seek help from miracle doctors. And it's not unusual or uncommon for miracle babies to appear, because at the end of the day, the societal pressure is huge.
In desperation, some childless couples turn to anyone that offers to help. So-called miracle doctors offer would-be parents expensive fertility treatments with the promise of a miraculous conception, even for the most barren couples. We have made an appointment with one such medic, Mr. Akimbode Demilola. He operates from a pharmacy in Delta State. He has all the trappings of a medical doctor, but alas, none of the qualifications.
It's really very, very important to me. December, as I speak, I have to be able to prove that she's carrying a baby.
No problem. God on my side every day.
We've invited Dr. Avred Abiokofa from the Ministry of Health to give an expert view of our treatment.
So it operates like a hospital.
That's the lab upstairs.
Yeah.
The doctor examines each of us behind the curtain. He uses a mysterious little device, the size of a smartphone, which he holds in his hand and waves over our stomachs. Within minutes, he is satisfied with the examination and hides the device in his pocket. He tells me I have a low sperm count, which is odd because I know I can have children.
He had diagnosed me within a few seconds. So tell me, is it possible that someone will just let you lie down and then the person will find out that you have low sperm count?
No, it's not possible.
But worse was to come. He also diagnoses me with pelvic inflammatory disease, an infection of the female reproductive organs.
This paper is for female.
So you are saying that he has given me a female...
a female condition.
Although Rosemary is a parent, the doctor has his own peculiar view of her inner mechanics. He claims her body doesn't drain all of her menstrual blood.
The blood is never drained out completely after the normal menstrual.
Okay.
So it's making our ovulation to be ineffective.
Okay.
So the womb cannot have the same weight on the eggs when the eggs are There's no other underlying problem she's having, apart from the fact that the womb is not receptive. By the time she gets up after the meeting, the signal tends to push out.
He is not a medical doctor.
Although Rosemary and I know we are both fertile, Dr. Demilola recommends artificial insemination.
But the major thing here is that we are going to make use of that semen bank to get the thing done faster. I must not deceive you people that, okay, maybe by the time We just do the booking, blah blah, 1 miracle, drink water from the overnight. They wish to move it on the particular year.
You should not allow these people access to the public. But if we go after this kind of people and we're able to deal with them in such a way that it will serve as a deterrent to others from coming into church business. So closing down and prosecuting offenders is also part of the solution.
While some couples fall victim to such elaborate deception, there is a much more troubling trade which promises to help the childless. We heard of so-called orphanages where pregnant young girls banished by their parents are lured with the promise of food and shelter. In return, they are pressured into giving up their baby at birth.
I think it's fair to say that it's almost reached epidemic proportions because babies are sold and given to other couples who are richer but unfortunately could not have babies.
In 2012, child rights activist and lawyer James Ibo suddenly found himself dealing with human trafficking.
For the past 1 year, we recorded over 20 children disappearing in Cross River State. We don't know if they were adopted because there's no record of adoption.
He received an unexpected call from a pediatrician who had stumbled across a troubling case in the Calabar Teaching Hospital. Dr. Elehu Osem had found a distressed young girl under pressure to give up her newborn baby.
I happened to be the resident doctor on duty in the pediatric ward. I didn't really know the scope of what I was dealing with, but I actually knew something was wrong. One instant, something was wrong.
He called me that there's a child that the hospital is about to separate from the mother. That if I don't respond immediately, he cannot guarantee what will happen to both mother and child.
Dr. Osim's patient was a teenage girl who had run away from home when she got pregnant. With nowhere else to turn, she was taken in by a charity, an NGO, but in return, they wanted her child. We will call her Hannah.
When I recovered, I was pregnant, so I have to travel to Calabar. So on reaching Calabar, I approached someone to help me that I don't have any place to stay and I'm pregnant. So when I reached there, I meet one nurse. So the nurse asked me how old is the pregnancy. So I told her that it's almost 4 to 5 months. The woman said that she's going to take me to refuge home, that she will take care of me and she will give me everything that I want. Then when I deliver, that she's going to take the child from me. And sometimes they sold the baby out to people.
It was obvious that she was traumatized. So after relating with her for a long time, she opened up that they have asked her to go and leave her baby behind.
They told me that I have 2 options to make. If I don't want to keep the baby, that they will send me away. But if I keep the baby, then at the end of the day, after my tablet, then I came back to say I want to collect my baby, that they are going to jail me and arrest me.
No law allows that. There's a procedure for adoption.
I was not comfortable with that, but I later agreed that I'm going to let the child.
The NGO claimed that the women in its care gave up their babies freely and that they were put up for legal adoption. But Hannah's fate changed when the hospital persuaded her to breastfeed.
Normally, the NGO doesn't allow you breastfeed, but when you're in the newborn unit, the doctors, they don't know about your NGO stuff. So she had to start breastfeeding. The bonding started. And when once a mother starts bonding with the child, it becomes very, very difficult. So she's been with the child for 3 days, and suddenly they noticed a change in her demeanor. She was always moody. And then they thought they started crying. And we never knew that some persons through the window had been asking her to take the child away to request for discharge.
I later decided I'm not going to keep my baby because I passed through CSR.
We found out the parents of this girl, and we got the parents to come. Okay. The NGO buckled when they found that out, and we handed over the baby to the mother.
So they have to collect everything that they gave me, and I took my child away.
Mother was crying, baby was crying, matrons were crying. It was an exhilarating moment. I felt like I had conquered the world. I had saved one child for once because I couldn't stop the others.
But it didn't end there. When Dr. Osim demanded answers from the NGO, they rubbished his account and threatened his life.
I was threatened. My department was scared for my life. They thought they could harass me into submission. If I don't write a retraction, I would pay damages to the tune of 50 million. Nobody said you can't adopt people's children, but you can just seize them from their hands.
We've intervened in so many cases of child abuse, child human trafficking, that I tell you, the perpetrators have not been prosecuted.
That was 3 years ago, and Hannah's child is healthy and happy. We wanted to find out if babies are still being taken by the illegal baby trade. We are going undercover, posing as a married couple, desperate for a child. Our first stop is a tailor in Port Harcourt, where we get measured up for matching traditional garb. Our cover story is that our families are putting us under pressure to get divorced if we don't have a child. This area of southeastern Nigeria is said to be a hotbed of the child trafficking trade. Legal adoption takes a long time and is sometimes frowned upon, so some couples try a shortcut. Equipped with a secret camera, we will visit private clinics and orphanages to find out how easy it is to buy a child illegally with no questions asked. Here at Destiny's Child Orphanage in Ulako, we are amazed to discover how openly one employee would offer to sell us a baby. Despite her evident ill health, Ada Ezoyi is willing to register us for a baby and to broker a deal.
If we register, how long will it take us to get the baby? So does it mean that there are other people also on the list who are also waiting for their baby?
The teeming number of people who are also interested.
You saw
the book.
The big exercise book.
Yeah. So it makes me feel that it's a brisk business.
Yeah.
We asked whether we could meet the girl who will have our baby.
Can't we meet her in the hospital? Just see her and then that's it. We really, really want to see her. See her, how she looks like and...
Every attempt is being made to make sure that we don't go to see the girl.
Yes.
All they are interested in is make the payment and take the baby away. That's
exactly.
It.
No evidence. Yeah. We could say 800. 800. The man 1 million.
See, money instantly brings smiles onto their faces.
Yeah.
You are selling a child to us.
You don't even know if you'll be able to care for the child.
Yeah.
It bleeds my heart that young girls, have been turned into baby-making machines.
So what would drive a woman to want to take the child to such a place and sell it out?
A young girl who is pregnant is been sent away. She can't take care of the pregnancy, nowhere to go to. And seeing somebody, taking her in, feeding her and everything, just to relieve her of the baby at the end of the day, which she possibly cannot, feed.
These babies are made to be sold. Don't forget, In most of West Africa, abortion is still a crime. So if a woman wants to abort and she does not succeed, and the pregnancy has developed beyond the stage where there can be a safe abortion, if she seeks help with a miracle doctor, he's going to help her, but usually have the baby and disappear. You keep my secrets, I keep your secrets, and then the babies are trafficked.
After paying to register, we got a call the next day from the woman at Destiny Child Home to tell us they had found a baby for us.
Hello, madam.
Good morning, sir. Of course, first I called the guard.
Oh, okay, great.
Another one, that woman will get that the scan. As I call and say the baby don't die. The baby don't die after delivering. Another one then next month. That is ending of this month or December.
So when are you expecting me to bring the money?
Say tomorrow, you go call the woman. Come and take her money.
But it's not just the staff at some orphanages who sell babies. A wider network is said to exist, operating behind a front of trained doctors in real clinics. We decide to visit Basic Clinic and Maternity Home in Imo State, rumored to be engaged in the baby trade. On our first visit, we asked a nurse if she could help us buy a baby. She is nervous but does not turn us away.
Me and my wife, we are looking for baby. So,
excuse me first. I'm coming.
It's all right.
I'll be back.
At the mention of a baby, the nurse scuttles off.
Really, our doctor does that kind of business. Yes, I know. This kind of a discussion. You have to have a private meeting, and I'm not sure if it will be today because if he comes back now, he'll be in a hurry to do everything, to keep everything in order. So the best thing is to come back to you.
This nurse won't even dare to tell anybody, isn't it?
No. I think she made the mistake of, confiding in you the first day, because the second day we came, she walked up to me while you were outside, pleading with me to tell you not to tell the doctor that both of you discussed anything.
Wow, that is interesting.
I think you can help us.
I think so because he had some pregnant women in his hospital.
Please don't let anybody hear of this.
I know. And I know we have secrets. Lots of secrets to keep. That is why we're nurses.
I also wanted very fast.
I said no problem. Let's say within 3 months time.
But is it possible that it can be earlier than that? If I want it like earlier than that?
Like earlier than
maybe
that.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah. Or 1 week. Really. If I get it.
I don't think it will be. At that one, we cannot think it will be.
Okay.
The ones I know that are discussed, I think they will give birth to the babies in 1 week time.
Okay.
They don't know that I understand their language. They were discussing, she was discussing with the younger nurse, oh, that this woman must have been in pains. This woman must have suffered so much. And do you see how God can lead somebody? That God just led her into this place and all that. But I pretended as if, I don't understand their language.
Said?
Yes.
On our next visit, we get closer. The owner is Dr. O'Hary, and his wife agrees to see us. She admits they sell babies, but tries to take the moral high ground.
We've been married for 12 years now. And it's been really difficult having a child. To the extent that now I'm getting a lot of pressure from my parents to divorce her. It's not fair, madam.
It's not fair. It's not fair. Maybe when he comes out, we tell him what people can see, so that if he can be of help, you understand? Instead of all these children to be wasted and aborted and you understand? They can run into all these women affair commission and they save the babies. The people that are looking for children will come and adopt them. Even Christ was adopted by Joseph. So me, I don't support the idea of abortion. I don't. Instead, let this pregnancy be safe. Let the people that are looking for children take them. And they don't go into poor people's home. No. They stay capable people that will take care of them.
The wife of Dr. O'Hare knows, and yet they are not being clamped down upon.
On our third attempt, we finally got to meet the boss, Dr. O'Hare himself.
What is important is that I have a baby.
If you come across somebody who wants to give access to a man, contact, they negotiate, and then they'll take it and then take care of it. As for what matters taking care of one to maturity.
When the baby comes immediately, and so you ought to be ready to collect it, to come and pick the baby. And that I'm going to negotiate on the price.
How soon you people need it?
Look, as soon as possible.
Well, I don't think you proceed. How to make contact.
Exactly.
The nurse told us that they had the girls in separate places and one was due. So whilst he was telling us all this, he knew there was a baby.
So what I have to do now is that you deposit some money. Okay. You have another number. Which bag?
Oh, dog.
Really?
Hey, give me male or female or twins. Dog, I will take. I will take.
Okay. After you put it neutral, anyone can go. Some people do specify that they may be more interested in what they call it, male. Some do interested in female, something like that.
Some those are places, they don't discriminate. A child is a child.
Several days later, a second nurse from Basic Clinic called to tell us a baby was coming up for sale. She asked for 800,000 to 900,000 naira for our doctor, who owns the hospital where the baby is delivered.
One woman is at labor now, so we are watching out.
Okay. Is it possible for me to know how much, and if maybe you can send me maybe an account number?
Maybe, I don't know whether it's a girl or a boy. But for now, please keep 900,000 naira. For dog, this hospital is for him now.
Ma?
This 900,000 is for him.
You mean doctor?
For now, doctor is the owner of the hospital, assuming this woman deliver now.
Later that night, Dr. O'Hare himself called us in an effort to secure the deal and get the money.
Is it day old or 2 days old or a week old? Do it donate?
If I get within 1 day and 1 week, it's okay.
This one and I are going to be a day old now within 24 hours.
Okay.
So I have to come tomorrow and pick it.
Without the money?
With the money now.
Now, this one are like how much?
8 or 9, within 8 or 9 or something.
We were not able to care for a stranger's child ourselves, so we backed out of the deal. Our investigation has shone a light on parts of a sinister network. It involves genuine doctors and cynical staff in orphanages who will sell vulnerable children to the highest payer. We have passed our evidence onto the authorities so that justice can prevail.